Well, welcome everyone. This is the DSWA getting ready for our free class. Every month we do at least one free class, and sometimes we do two. And in fact, this month we're going to have a second free class. So watch for that one because those of you that really want to get organized, that class is all about that. So love to have you participate with us. You can find things on the events page. If you're ever looking for what's going on at DSWA, just check out the events page. So let's get ready to get started. How to make follow-ups fun and fulfilling. How many of you would like to have more fun and be feeling more fulfilled in the business? Yay. So it doesn't need to be scary because I know for some of you, you just go, I hate follow-up. Well, guess what? We're not going to hate it anymore. So what, if anything, holds you back from following up? There's things that hold people back. It could be one thing, it could be several things. So we're going to talk about which ones those might be. Do you feel like a nag? Nobody wants to be a nag. In America, when you say a nag, it's kind of like someone that just bugs somebody and drives them crazy. It's not just a horse. So if you're feeling like you're nagging people, you may be. You may be following up too often, or you may be kind of sounding whiny, or you may be sounding like, why don't you call me back? And people probably aren't very excited to see your call coming in. So if you're feeling like a nag, it may be because you have been. Another reason people don't follow up, they're afraid of hearing no. And I want to say something about no. There are lots of different no's. And if you're afraid of hearing no, boy, you're going to go through life holding back a whole lot. So don't hold back, step in, step up, and don't let that be one of your fears. Practice when you hear no, just say thank you so much. It's good to give people an option. And generally, the reason you hear no is because you ask a yes or a no question. You ask an open-ended question, that doesn't generally happen. Anybody here tired of getting ghosted? You may be going through life and going, I said I was going to call and now they're not there. I said I was going to call and she doesn't call me back. Partly that can be because you didn't really tell somebody exactly when you were going to call and you didn't find out what was convenient for them. That's the important thing. What is convenient for you? So if you're tired of getting ghosted, you stop following up because you think, why should I bother? Not good. Does following up feel like a chore? You know what people say is, I need to follow up today. I have to do some follow-up calls today. I should be doing follow-up calls. So you're saying those things to yourself and you're nagging yourself. when you say I need to, I should, I have to, it's scolding yourself. That's really what it is. It's a subtle way of scolding yourself. So if it's feeling like a chore, you're probably not going to do it. So again, ask yourself, how can I make this more fun? I had a lady that really was having a hard time, with her follow-up calls. And then she figured out what would be more fun. She started doing them from the hot tub. And she loved it. She said she did turn into a prune. That part, you don't want to be a prune, but you do want to have fun at what you're doing. Get out for a little while, sit on the side and make your calls. What will make it more fun? I have candles around me. I have flowers around me. I face my beautiful outdoors so that everything I do is more fun. I would not want to have all these chores or feeling of I have to do this. That's not so good. So now we want to call because we care. If you get that feeling for people, the reason you're calling is because you really sincerely do care. Get yourself a little sticker and put it on your phone. And no, I'm picking up this phone because I care. I'm picking up this phone because I told the people I was going to call. I made an appointment with them. And when I don't call, especially after I've made an appointment, it's saying I don't care. That's not going to be good for you. So call people because you care. How can you make more calls in a day? Hopefully you're blocking time off for these care calls. So how often and how quickly should I be following up? The follow-up is based on when you told them you were going to follow up. I say follow up fast, friendly, not forever. You do not want to turn into a stalker. It doesn't feel good for you. It doesn't feel good for them. So follow up quickly within a matter of a couple of days. And that also depends on how much time they need to do whatever it is that they were going to do, to experience the product, to try the skincare on, to make a recipe with something that they've purchased already. You want to follow up as soon as you can and as often as you can, as long as you can tell you're not turning into a bothersome person. Sometimes it's only us that thinks that the person doesn't. They're just happy that you care enough to call. How many times, how long does it take us to get a customer? It takes work. It takes several attempts to get somebody as a customer. So what would make us not want to follow up? Because when you're not following up, you're probably not going to keep that customer. And the whole idea is that we want to keep them. So how do you overcome the fear of no? Remember, there are only 3 types of no's: no, not now, no, not ever, and who do I know? And if somebody says no, not now, that's okay. In fact, I would rather know that now's not the right time for them. So when they say no, not now, when would be a good time for me to reach back out to you? Every 3 to 6 months? What's a good time? Are morning or evenings better for you? Ask a few questions so that you have an opportunity to reconnect with them. When someone says no, not ever, and very rarely does that happen unless you ask that question, is that no, not now, or no, not ever? If they say no, not really, not ever, I'm just really not interested in the product, I totally understand. I want to tell you thank you for being honest with me. It saved us both a lot of time. Who do you know that would be interested? Who do you know that enjoys cooking if you're selling a cooking product? Who do you know that has a roadmap on their face? That's called wrinkles. Who do you know? They may share a referral with somebody. They may share somebody that is interested. And here's another one. If it's an opportunity, who do you know that would enjoy, not need? Who do you know that would enjoy having an extra 100, 500, $5,000 or more per month coming into the household? Who do you know? Because then you're prepared. You're not put back on your heels. Sometimes when somebody says no, we think it's about us, and it really has nothing to do with us. Like I say, there's only 3 no's: no, not now, no, not ever. Who do you know? There's not a 4th no. No, I hate you. That is not one of them. They're not going to tell you that. I promise. They don't hate you. So figure out what that no is and be okay with whatever that is. Thank you so much for being honest with me. I love it when people tell me the real truth. When they don't call back or when they ignore the call repeatedly, that is not as pleasant. And so your voicemail, by the way, is very critical, the kind of voicemail. And at the end of this call, if somebody wants to get about how to leave a voicemail, I'm happy to come back at that. I didn't put it in here. I just thought of it, but I think it's important when you get voicemails. So find some great questions to ask the person to follow up. When would be the best time for me to follow up? What method would work best for you with follow-up? Some people want texting, and that's they don't answer anything else. They don't even listen to their voicemail. My brother, I said, Gus, I left you a voicemail last week. He goes, I'm going to change my voicemail to say I don't listen to my voicemail. I thought, are you kidding me? But so some people don't. But if you find out they're a texter, learn to text. If you don't know how to text, go find a 10-year-old because they all know how. So if it is that they would like to be called, would they like to go through Messenger, a Facebook message? We've got to accommodate them with their style, not with ours. So what is the best method for me to follow up with you? When would be the best time for me to follow up with you? Mornings or evenings or afternoons? When are you the most available? And then make an appointment. And many of you have heard me say this, and I am going to repeat it because of repetition. We finally get it. Some people it takes a few times, but I'm going to say this. I will block that time off in my calendar and commit it to you. And all you New Zealanders, you say, I'll block that time off in my diary and commit it to you. Will you do the same? You've got to make sure that you get that they know you're serious. You know, this is my full-time career, or this is my full-time income for my family. You can say it however you want, but when you say it, you want to make sure that they know that you're going to be, it's important. Follow-up is important to you. You're going to be following up. Here comes a question. I get to follow up with some friends today. New mindset. That is so true. I get to follow up. I get to. Sometimes we say, I have to do this, I have to do that. It doesn't feel good. I get to. Beautiful. Thank you for that, Raquel. So, some great questions. You know, what did you like best about the product? You know, or how much time would you like to use the product before we have our follow-up call? Or type into the box any questions that you use for follow-up. I bet you've got some really good ones. Put them in the box and I'll share those. So questions are the answer. The better you get at asking questions that are open-ended questions, who, what, when, where, how questions, not did, have, could, would, anything that takes a yes or a no answer, they probably are not going to answer. You're going to put them in a corner. You're going to put them, and they are going to walk away from it. They're not a good thing. So how can I be of service to you? I love that one. I use that one almost every day, and I didn't share it. How can I be of service to you? What can I do to support you? What can I do to support you? Is another great question. If you ask these questions, listen to what they say and make sure you don't beat around the bush, that you come in straight with an answer for that question. Or you can ask them a question and get their feedback on whatever that may be. So questions are the answer. And I really want you to get good at that so that you have a good opportunity to follow up with people. You know, where do you put your follow-up? Do you use a planner or a calendar? How do you keep track of all that? Because if you're not keeping track of who you've got to connect with and when you said you were going to connect, you're going to miss appointments. You can't keep everything in your head. Find a place that your mind will trust to track these kinds of things so that you can be really, really good at what you're doing. Calendar is exactly right. And your calendar needs to sync your phone with your computer calendar. If you can do that, you don't miss appointments. I put everything in my calendar. Everything. I can't I'm too many things going on, too many different opportunities. So I can easily miss something if I'm not really working on what I'm doing here. So great questions to ask. The fortune is in the follow-up. I'm going to say that again. The fortune is in the follow-up. Here's what happens. When we don't follow up, we miss opportunities. And if you're missing opportunities, you're missing sales. You're missing building your business. You're missing growing your business. And if you're not following up, people think you don't care. So I truly believe the fortune is in the follow-up. And if you want to be really good at this business, we got to get good at following up with people. It tells the client how much you care. Now, I've gone through a lot of things really fast tonight. And I'm going to come back around because I want to coach people on anything that has been a limiting belief. If we go back, I'm just going to zip back there at the beginning. We had a lot of reasons why people don't follow up. If you've got one of these and you want to be coached through it, let me know. And I'm going to support you with it. So let's go. If it's, do you ever feel like a nag? I don't want to nag people. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to bug people. Those things will hold you back. I don't want to be pushy. I can guarantee you that's going to hold you back. I'm afraid of hearing no. That's going to hold you back. You're getting ghosted. There's reasons for getting ghosted, folks. We can talk about that. You know, if you're feeling like follow-up is a chore or that you don't like it, then you're not going to do well with it.
I think, can I say something if you don't mind?
Please.
I think for me, the big situation for me is I do not want to hear no. I feel like it's something that I'm doing. I don't like, I feel like I'm not good enough when I hear that. And that the big no, the no is a big thing for me. I don't like hearing it.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to hold that thought because I'm going to come back to that because
Yes.
I really believe there are probably a few other people on this call that feel that same thing.
Okay.
So any questions from anyone? I can't see everybody's face right now. So if you just want to type into the chat box, I have a question, raise your hand or just speak up. I'm happy to hear that. Here's a couple of other thoughts that came up in the chat box. How many times can you follow up with the same person? It really depends on the person. And it also depends on the response that you get. Are they responding to what you're doing? And if you ask permission early on, may I, now this is a yes or no question, give you a follow-up call in 3 to 6 months to see how you're doing? That question, that's how I got in this business. The person that asked me, I was a teacher and I was really happy being a teacher. And she said to me, may I give you a call back in 3 to 6 months and see how you're doing? 3 months, like clockwork. Every 3 months. She wrote it in her calendar. I know she did. And how are things going? You're still loving your teaching. Is anything different? And you know, here's a new product that we have that I know you would really enjoy. So she got me started on the products. She had me host an event. She had me refer people to her. And of course, later said, Holly, those could be your customers. You know, I appreciate the referral. Those could be your customers. Anyway, so I was getting ready to have my baby. My daughter, Grace, was going to be born. And everything changed because I wanted to be home to raise her. So that when she called that time, she said, is anything different going on? Or maybe now would be a better time. And I said, yes. That's why I signed up with her, because she followed up. Many other people had asked me, but she's the one that followed up. So just keep that in mind. Here's another question. Can you repeat the phrase you just said about blocking off time with you? Will you do the same? What that was, you know, you make an appointment. Is Tuesday better or Thursday? Thursday's good. Morning or afternoon? Afternoon. I'll block that time off in my calendar, or the Australians in New Zealand say diary. I'll block that time off in my calendar and commit it. The word commitment is really important. Commit it to you. And here's the follow-up question. Will you do the same? Because if they won't agree to that, they're probably not going to agree to anything. So I call them when I say I'm going to call them. If I say it's going to be 10 o'clock on Thursday, I call them at 10 o'clock on Thursday. And if anything goes wrong, and for some reason my son went in the hospital or something, I'm going to send them a text and let them know so that they know I really did plan to be there and something bad happened. I had a family emergency or whatever it was. Don't just not call, folks. You've got to call. So that was the question. So what do you do when you notice that people don't want to return your calls or reply to your messages? It has something to do with either how you left the message, what you're saying, or that they never really were interested in the first place and you didn't tell them and ask if they would be okay if you called them back. Because see, what I say is, oh, Susie, I'm going to leave you a voicemail because you asked me to give you a call back in 3 to 6 months. And here's my call. I wanted to see how you were doing. Last time we talked, your son was ill and I hope he's doing much better. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm available today between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. Now you're going to get this recording and you can grab all this later. I'm available today between the hours of 3 and 6 p.m. If you'd like to call me during that time, or tomorrow between 10 and 2, or whatever I want to say, so they get the feeling I'm busy. And I don't tell people I'm busy. I say I have a full life. That's a whole different story when you say that. I have a full life. And when they know you have a full life, they're much more apt to call you back because they feel like, oh God, I'm lucky she's calling me. She's taking the time to call me. So if you don't want to chase them around the block, and I've said this too, when I've called somebody several times and we've set several appointments and they didn't make it, today I rarely have a problem with somebody not being there because they know I have a full life and I'm taking time out for them, so they're there when I call. But I remember in the old days having some people that were not there, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that. So I learned to say something. And it's up to you, but here's an idea. You know, Sally, this is the 4th time I've called, and I was so excited to get to talk to you. And we've made several times to try to get together. And something very important obviously came up. I'd love to hear from you. I'm going to be available tomorrow. I'm not going to call you again. You know, so the ball's in your court. Please give me a call back when it's convenient this week or whatever I'm going to say there. Release. You know, fishermen have catch and release. It is okay to release. If they are, but you know, and I've said this too. You know, it's the 4th time I've called. Something obviously very important has come up because I know you committed to making our time. So I hope everything's okay. Let me know. This is the last time I'm going to call, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Something like that. So they know you're not going to chase them around the block. You have a full life. You don't have time to do that. You've got other people that are interested. Sometimes we waste so much time on the few that we don't have time for the plenty. Bernadette, you say you have a question. What would you like to ask? I think you have to unmute yourself, Bernadette. And I can't see you to unmute you. Let me see if I got it here. Okay, let me do this. I think you're on, are you on the phone, Bernadette? When you're on the phone, you can't do it. You have to call in on the Zoom line. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I don't know how you got in the chat box then. That was kind of strange. I'm going to keep going and then I'm going to come back to the rest of these questions because I want to make sure that you see this last little bit. We've got 3.
Can you hear?
Now I can, yes.
All right, great. So I'm relatively new in my company. I've had 10 customers and I have been following up. The last 3 customers haven't been happy with my products. So I did say they could return them. I did suggest other products that might work better, but now I'm afraid to call people.
Ah, so thank you for sharing that. Is this an established company or a new company? You don't have to say the name.
Yes.
A new company?
And the products are really good. I think they ordered the wrong products.
Okay, but it is a new company.
Yes, 10 years old.
Well, that's not new. So that's okay. So you've had some time to get that. So maybe they didn't order the right thing. So I would definitely ask, so if something doesn't, so what made you unhappy with the product? So I'm going to pretend you're that person. And you remember one of those conversations that you had for a minute. So will you say to me, what?
Well, it didn't do what I thought it would do.
What were your expectations from the product?
That it would relax my dog.
Relax your dog. And what happened with your dog?
My dog was agitated and didn't relax. But there's another product they could use that would.
Okay. So, well, I'm sorry that happened. You know, it's not every pet or every person is the same. So that can happen from time to time. We have another product and it does this and this and this, and it's close to the same price. And I'm happy to do an even exchange for you. And I can get that in the mail for you today.
Okay, thank you.
So it's moving to solution. We as distributors of any product, it's We are here for solutions for people and making their life simpler. And that's the whole idea. Not, you're going to have some people that won't do it, but you also, sometimes people just need money and they just say something didn't work and want you to give them a refund. I've had that happen. It can happen. And some people use every ounce of whatever that skincare product is down to the last nub and then say, well, it didn't work. And they said, I want to send it back. So, you got all kinds of people and they'll all find a way to do something different. So I want to talk to you for just a second about what's coming up. Being intentional. This is our free class that's coming up October 11th. That you definitely want to be on there. I've got Belinda Ellsworth on there with me. It's going to be really good. It's good for people who would like to be more organized and use techniques to be more organized. This is a class that's coming up and it's the first time we've offered it for this. $99, coach approach to sponsoring. So you want to learn how to sponsor through asking questions and not chasing people around the block. This is a 2-part mini series, really well worth it. And if you use this code, when you get ready to check out, take 10, and you'll get $10 off, which is a good deal. And then we have our coach school, our regular coach school, level 1 school, November 8th through the 22nd. All of these you can find on the events page. So just go there and you'll see lots of good things that are coming up. So I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you and see what other questions we have. So Raquel, did you have anything else? I don't know if that's you had a question or if that was a comment. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys value. Boy, Raquel, you have a beautiful daughter. Hi there. I love getting to see people, and some of you I get to see quite often. I haven't seen you in a long time, Teresa. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. So this is for you. So ask away, either type it in the box or raise your hand or speak up, because I want to make sure that you've got some you've got limiting beliefs around follow-up. Don't carry those around with you, folks, because that limiting belief follows into another area of your business. I'm going to tell you, it follows into something else. So be careful with that. No is a big limiting belief. Thank you, Misty, for really being transparent here. Misty, are you open to unmute yourself for a minute and we can work through that?
Sure.
Okay. So what do you think that's about?
I think that maybe it's just my insecurities that I am working on. I just know that I'm a big people pleaser, which can be a positive situation and a very much a negative. And I tend to take the negative side of it more than the positive. And it's just mostly insecurities for me. I am working on it. I'm a lot better than I was, but
Oh, that's good. Because you know what? It takes practice too. Enlarging your comfort zone and talking to people and hearing some no's. That will make it what you'll be way more confident after you've received a few of those. Because and what was that about? After you get off that call with that person, what was that about? Was that about me or was that about them? Sometimes it's totally about them and it has nothing to do with us. But we get into a belief of, hey, golly, that's really, she doesn't like me, and that's not it at all. So Misty, where else does this show up besides your sales?
It shows up a lot in my life, not just with Color Street. Yeah, I am working on, I am getting like extra help and I'm working on it. It starts from when I was younger, and yeah.
So wherever that started, do you think that person intended for you to carry that around the rest of your life?
Absolutely.
They did want you to carry that around for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
That's a frightening thing. So how important is that person to you right now in the rest of your life?
Not important to me at all. He's not even here no more. He's out of our lives, but
so
he did a lot of things for me to a lot of limited feelings because of him. Yeah.
So when you keep allowing that to happen, how is that honoring him?
It's most definitely honoring him. He still has all this power over me that I wish that, like I said, that's why I'm working on it. Just the last couple of months, I finally realized I need to go get some extra help in life. And yeah, he has power over me, and I don't want that no more.
Well, so that's good. So a question for yourself. There's a whole skill set that we teach in coaching called self-coaching. Learning to coach yourself is a really important skill. So when that little voice creeps back in there, how true is this? Ask yourself, how true is this? That I'm not worthy, or that I don't deserve, or that nobody likes me, or that, the little negatives that slide in there. How true is that? Well, it's not really true.
No, it's not. I know that a
Mhm.
lot of people like me and care for me and think I'm a great girl, and I know that.
Mhm. So what is it going to take for you to release that hold?
I think continually doing what I'm doing by getting the extra help and surround myself with empowering women, which I have. And I'm also a part of a life coach, where she's helping me along too, and just continually accept the praise that I get from people.
And receive it graciously. All
Yes,
you need to say is thank you. That's all you
yes.
need to say. Don't even make an excuse for it. All you need to say is thank you. So people are saying, love you, Misty. You are amazing. Isn't that nice? Okay, I have a couple of other thoughts that have come up. Thank you, Misty, for your openness there.
Thank you.
Remember that no isn't always personally about you. Do you want ketchup with that? No, I'd rather have barbecue sauce. Not personal rejection of you. That's so true. Thank you for that. That was Marnie. Okay, here's another thought. I love the idea to put your appointments in a place that your mind can trust. Very good. How can we find a trustworthy place? My phone is stuffed. You may need to supplement with your online calendar and have it link over to that. You may, and you don't have to put everything in there, but because sometimes we look at the calendar, it's just like, oh, too much. But find a place that your mind can trust. You may need a paper calendar that you can put things in there, whatever works for you. But that whole key of that your mind will trust that it'll be there the next time is a big factor. Joanne, I don't know if you have a question. You have your hand raised. If you do, you can unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Joanne.
I've given out samples, but they're cold leads. So people will contact me and say, I want a sample. And so I'll follow up with them. Thank you. Can I have an address? What's your name? I have your address and I can send you a sample. And once I mail it out, I will follow up with them. Did you receive the sample? And I don't really get any answers back. And that's where it falls, it just goes quiet. Maybe
Yes.
one person will reply, yes, I received the samples, but then after that, I can't get any further. I can't get a sell from it. They either get the package, and I don't hear from them. So I'm trying to figure out what is it that I'm saying, or what can I do? What am I missing here?
So when you give someone a sample, part of the story that goes along with that is, I will be following up with you within 1 week. So make sure you use the sample right away. So what day is going to be best? You should be receiving this in the mail probably Friday. So in the next week, what is the better day for you? So we can set an appointment. If you don't have an appointment, it's like when we say, I'm going to call you next week. That's not an appointment. Don't expect them to be there. Don't expect them to answer. Don't expect anything. You can't, because it's not an appointment. So see if you can get an appointment set when you get the sample. Does that make sense to you? It's like we used to hand people CDs or DVDs all the time. and not say when I was going to reach out to them, and people don't get around to watching it. The longer something sits, the less important it becomes to that person. So set an appointment when you set it, when you mail it, give it to them or whatever. Does that make sense to you, Joanne?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Thank you. I love the idea to put your appointments in a place that you mind trust. Okay, somebody said that. Is there a best online calendar to sync everything? Google Calendar or Gmail Calendar works, Outlook works, almost all the major companies, it works to sync it to your phone. And what I like about that, like I don't have to drag my computer with me everywhere. I just take my phone and I can look. You know, you can set up different calendars too. You can have it be in other colors. So you could have it be red is your personal, purple is your business. So you can go through it and look and see what you have that's personal and what is it that's business. Maybe you're taking care of your mom. So you've got a different color for your mom. Simplify your life. Anything you can do to simplify your life is going to give you greater results in what you're doing. Anybody else, either raise your hand or type something into the chat box, because I am all yours. And Hannah, thank you for sending things out to your team. You've got quite a few people here. And I want you to notice I'm wearing your color stripe. Anyone else? I don't see any hands up. Come on, guys, this is your free time. This is you getting to ask whatever you want or to get support on whatever you want.
Hi, I'm gonna jump in. Sorry.
Good, Rebecca.
My name's Rebecca. Yes, I was gonna say, I don't know if sometimes my Zoom registers under my mom's name. Tell me more about when people ghost, because I have a lot of ghosting, and so maybe I can't come up with what I say or what I don't say, but maybe you could tell me the things that will cause people to ghost me so that I can avoid them.
First of all, just like anything else, you build rapport with that customer. You use their words, you listen to their voicemail. If it's usually the woman that leaves a voicemail and she goes, "Hi, this is Nicki. I'm so glad that you called. Can't wait to hear from you. Leave your message down. I'll get back to you as soon as I can." That's what their voicemail sounds like. And here's your voicemail. "Hello, this is Sally. I met you at the fair." You're not going to have rapport with them. Listen to their speed, their pitch, their tonality. If you haven't studied behavioral styles, it's part of almost everything that we do here. And you've got to understand how to connect with people. So, and in our advanced coach school today, we just talked about establishing rapport with people. You build it over time. It may not be instantly. So your voice message is equal to theirs, the pace, the speed, the tonality. If they say, "Please leave your name, your phone number, your area code, your time zone," I know this is a very detailed person. So my voicemail needs to be pretty detailed. So that's part of it. So this is Nicki Kyohoho. We met at Safeway last week. I handed you a sample and I said that I'd be giving you a call back this week. And I'm really looking forward to getting your feedback to find out what worked for you or what didn't work for you. Either way is a learning experience. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Best time to reach me is put that out there, because otherwise you're playing phone tag and you never catch up. And people feel like they're irritating you just like you feel like you're irritating them. So the best time to reach me is between these hours on this day, or my office hours are 8 to 5. You know, if you get a voicemail, I'll call you right back, or you can text me and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. So ghosting happens when you don't have a solid connection with the person. You weren't really sure that they were interested in the product in the first place. You were trying to convince them into something versus finding out and engaging them in something. I've got a class I'm going to be doing. We're starting a new learning management system. And we did this class a long time ago, Stop Getting Ghosted. And that's going to be our first class that we're going to put in that learning management system. Because what happens to people, if you are getting ghosted, you feel like it's me. And it could be you, it could be them. You don't know. But if you're doing the right things on the phone, leaving the right message, listening to the sound, that they're wearing. Those kinds of things, that's all part of it. I don't know.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, so a couple of comments that are coming in. Hannah's amazing. That's so true. Oh, what shade are you wearing? Atomic something. I think it's called Atomic. This is that is my name. I try to use everything in my home. Do you know that if 1 out of 2 direct sellers just purchased $100 through the direct selling channel to Atomic Sparkle? Okay, thank you. We just purchased $100 a month through the direct selling profession. We didn't buy it from the drugstore. We bought it from another professional in our industry. Guess what? That puts about $6 billion additional dollars through this business. We all just got to support one another. Don't look at the other person as competition. There's ways to collaborate. Find collaboration. There's more than enough. There's enough to go around. We don't need to see everybody as a competition. That is not going to serve you. Anybody else, either put your hand up or write something into the chat box, because I'm all yours.
Hi, Nikki. This is Dawn.
Hi, Dawn. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How you doing?
Good.
So I just want your kind of opinion on this. This was a suggestion a few years ago that somebody gave to me. And they said that when you leave a message for someone, getting, the response or getting them to call you back, they suggested calling and saying, I've got something so exciting to tell you. And then you click.
Oh,
You don't tell them who you are, what excitement you have. So,
oh my goodness. Well, I'm not so much into trickery or tactics. So I wouldn't feel good about that. If it's working, that's up to you what you want to do. But whenever you can create curiosity, you can do the same thing. Hi, this is Dawn, and I'm so excited to talk to you because we have a great new product that I think is just right for you. And I couldn't help but think about you. So give me a call back as soon as you can. It's going fast and we're going to run out soon if you are. And give your number. Curiosity in people is a good thing.
yeah.
So
And asking a question is one thing, that has worked for me, is asking a question so that they want to give you an answer.
yes.
So then you'll get a call back. But
Yes.
yeah,
What did you like best about that product?
Mhm.
What time of day were you using that product? Who else in your family has used the product? Something to get them, because it's saying, I care about what you have to say.
Mhm.
That's a good thing. Thank you, Dawn, for sharing that. Anybody else? Bridget, you always have something to say. Don't tell me you're silent over there. I don't believe it.
I love you too, my friend. Well, I just love listening to all the interaction because there's always something I've forgotten. And all the feelings, same thing about being ghosted. What do we do? For me, I find if I had the chance to have a relationship with them, I'm fine. It's the quick, warm chatter that I find more of a challenge to have that connection. You're at the doctor's office, or worse yet, at a cashier's, and give her a compliment, and she's sharp and she's happy to give you the call. Her information. I find they're thrilled today. I call it a little blessing bag, something with a little sample in it. Sometimes I don't have that. Sometimes it's just my business card. They're like happy.
Oh yeah.
But, and I know not to use but, however, okay.
On the other hand, are all in the but category.
yeah, not the but. So,
and
the challenge is that follow-up. So a little thing that I have noticed that you mentioned is I haven't put it down. I haven't told her that I have her in my calendar. And I think that's a key nugget that I just have kind of gotten lazy with. Just kind of has slipped my mind here.
Yeah.
So that's something. And then I just saw Laura's question. And to that, I have a stack of like cold leads and stuff. And I just call them and I'm just honest that I'm going through my piles. And guess what? I found your name at one
Ah.
time because half the time I don't even know where I met them.
You got to
know,
write
or-
it. You got to write that information on there.
Yeah, well, when I'm
Mhm.
on it, I'm good.
Yes, yes, yes.
But sometimes I haven't been, and I'll say, I met you quite a while ago somewhere, and there was a connection. You gave me your name and number, and I'm calling you now, and I just apologize for the delay.
Yeah, that's good just to let them know because it happens to everybody. So what is the best way to reach out to someone that you haven't talked to or messaged in a while? So it doesn't feel like a cold call. It won't feel like a cold call unless you make it feel like a cold call. So how can I warm up to this person? What was it that I really liked about her? What made me write that down to give her a call? So that you at least have a little idea in your own mind. Honesty is always the best policy. If you haven't done it, you still want to give that person tell them the truth. I had somebody, their card fell behind my desk and I had to get down on my hands and knees and dig around back there. I found a lot of little treasures, but I told her, I said, I felt so bad. I found your card back there. And so I'm calling you today. And, they laughed and that was okay. So I think honesty is the best policy too. Thank you, Bridget, for that. We had a couple people that had your hands raised and then you took them down. I don't know because I didn't call on you fast enough or what, but I apologize. You fell behind the desk. No, that one can't work for this one. Okay. Anybody else with anything different? Yes.
I was just gonna ask, how long is too long? And she kind of answered that, is why I put my hand back down.
Oh, that's okay. So how long is it too long it's never too late to follow up, ever. This is the thing. I'm just going to talk about this because you're going to be coming into holiday bazaar season and you're all going to be at booths and because they're all happening again this year. And you get an interest box and you have people that say, I would like to be a host, or I'd like to know more about the business, or I'm interested in the products or whatever. When you have people helping you with that booth, do not give them 100 leads. Don't do it. They get 10 and let you know how things went with those 10 people they called. And have some sort of training about how to follow up with these leads when the bazaar is over, so that those folks don't fall through the cracks. Because if you give the leads to Susie and Susie doesn't follow up, that's a reflection on you. So delve out those leads. They earn those. That's not going to just happen automatically. They earn them.
Nicki,
So,
you just said the key that really has helped me with the follow-up is that it's a reflection on me.
Oh, yes.
And on my integrity, my personal integrity. And I even think of it a step further. I think it even has a reflection on my company.
Yes.
So I just want to be real clear that if I get a number that I do follow up, I do have a little notebook, just a little one that I keep in my handbag. And I found for me, it's better when I write her name in, where I met her, and something about her. Maybe it's her hair, her eyes, something
Yes.
that I can go back when I am talking to her and reference that. And I've been doing that lately, and that works beautifully.
It's all in one place too, in that
Mhm.
one notebook. And if you have 15 minutes, you're sitting waiting in line somewhere, you can make that call. You've got it with you. Very, very good point. Thank you, Bridget. Anybody else with your hand up, or you have a question or something you'd like to share? Because we have lots of wisdom in this group, and I know that because we always do.
I like to put everything, Bridget, in my phone. Whenever I get their phone number, like I'll ask them if I can have their information. I get their phone number, take a picture of them, so I have their picture right then. And then in the notes section, I'll put met at Walmart, on Tuesday or whatever. And she had really great hair or something like that. That way it's in my contacts. And then immediately I have to go to Siri and tell her to remind me to call Bridget, on Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
What I do, I give them, often I will give them my phone and have them put their contact information in there. That way I know it's them putting it in and I'm not mishearing a number or whatever. However, I'm still your paper girl. I would still have to go take my little notebook and say, Vicky Baker met her at the cafe, whatever. And so I still have to do that. It just makes me, I'm your checkoff person. I like that. I like to check it off, cross it off, say, wow, look at that.
That's good. Look at all these checkoffs I have today. That's a good thing.
And it's a
Yeah,
psychological thing. Look at my wins for today.
that's it. And congratulate yourself when you do have those.
That's probably where I need the work, is to be able to have a win, because I have way too many failures all day long. So to have those little wins right in front of my face would be helpful.
Are they
Well,
failures?
Nikki
Or are
taught us
they?
that if you take any of the coaching classes, you will be bombarded with her wording and you'll go to bed at night and hear, I'm not the answer queen. I'm not the answer queen.
It's like a nightmare. That voice keeps coming back. I don't know.
It comes back and then we call in to get some more, Nikki.
That's it. I was telling you, I was in Australia and there were two little boys, they're twins, and they came up to me, and some of you have heard this story, but they came up to me after the class because the mother had, her husband brought the kids and the boys wanted to meet me. And they looked up at me and they go, you're the lady in our car.
Yeah.
The mom had the CDs. I thought that was so cute. We know you. You're Nicki. That was funny. So they probably have nightmares too, really frightening. Anyway, so my hope is that you will start to get these tips and how it all blends together. At least come on the free classes. For $8.95 a month, you can become a member of the association. We do a mastermind call every month. You can be a part of that. You can you get a new video every week, every Friday. There's a lot of things by being part of this. Andronette, I've seen you twice today. You're back again.
Great evening.
Good evening. It was early this morning.
Right.
And now it's late tonight. How are things with you?
Things are great. I usually put reminders in my Google Calendar if I need to remember something. I use the 21-day challenge a lot to remind me to go back every 3 days to follow up. But I'll use that Google Calendar and I have it attached to my Alexa. So I think I shared that during the first coaching class when I said I have it attached to Alexa. So it reminds me when I have appointments or to do certain things.
We all need Alexa in our
Oh,
lives.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Take the garbage out. She tells me everything.
Oh, good. That's so good. So anyone else with something different or anything I can do to support you today? You have been great. I really hope you'll think about participating and showing up on the next free class and other things that we've got coming up. Here's some things. What did you say about leaving the message on voicemail? You match the pace, the pitch, the tone of the person who is giving the message, which is usually the woman of the house. And you speak clearly and distinctly. Sometimes what people have to say on their voicemail is, please leave your name and number twice, because the rate of the speed, and who wants to rewind 10 times? It's not good. So speak with your name and number. You got to speak at a moderate pace, but where you met them, give them some information. That's going to be important there. Here's another thought that just came in. I just put through a sale today from someone I met at a mall activation a year ago. Good for you. That's beautiful. Here's another one. Thank you. Thank you to all of you for showing up and playing 100% full out. And I love it. And I'm so happy. And that baby is just darling. I'm so happy to be home in Hawaii with my grandbabies. And we're having a great time. You all take care. Good night. And I hope I get to see you next time. Aloha.